We continue to trend in the right direction, further validating that the time is right to move into the recovery phase and begin reopening Iowa. Over the weekend, some Iowans went out to eat at a local restaurant, worked out at their gym, or finally got a haircut. Others chose to remain home and wait a little longer before venturing out in this way, and some businesses decided to take additional time before reopening to ensure they and their staff are prepared to implement preventative measures designed to protect themselves and their customers. Regardless of whether you're ready to resume some of your normal activities or choosing to wait, we respect that decision. Only you know what's best for you and your family. The decision to ease restrictions that allow some businesses to reopen at limited capacity is not a mandate to do so, nor is it a requirement that Iowans dine out, shop, or do anything they're not ready to do. Remember that if you're a vulnerable Iowan with underlying conditions, we are not recommending at this time that you change your habits. You should continue to stay home and limit your trips to essential errands, and make sure that you're cognizant of your surroundings when you do that, and you're wearing a face covering. So those still remain the same. We still have in place limiting social gatherings to 10 or less. So while we're easing some restrictions, I think we still have some practical guidelines in place that will give Iowans an opportunity to get out there and enjoy the holiday and enjoy their family, but to do it in a responsible manner. So I want to remind Iowans that we didn't just rip off the Band-Aid, we're easing mitigation efforts. So as we start to open up our economy, a lot of times we're doing it at 50% capacity. We're asking that the businesses continue to practice social distancing. We're asking that Iowans, when they go outside, to practice social distancing, and if they're at a place where they don't think they can, to have a face covering with them so that they can put a face covering on. As you've witnessed, as you start to go to businesses across the state, they also are taking very proactive measures and requiring maybe Iowans to wear a face covering if they're going to shop at their place of business. You see restaurants that are really being thoughtful and taking the time to make sure that they're meeting all of the Department of Public Health guidelines and the restrictions that have been put in place that allows them to open back up, because they want to make sure that they're protecting the health not only of their employees, but the health of Iowans as well. And so I've also said, we started with it's stabilize, recover, and grow. And stabilization, it was all about protecting the health of Iowans, making sure that we were managing our healthcare resources, working to, by the mitigation efforts that we put in place, flatten the curve and not overwhelm our healthcare system. And we've been able to do that, and we were able to demonstrate that and continue to demonstrate that to Iowans on a daily basis. And so because of that, and with the next step that we were able to take, which was significantly increasing our testing capacity in the state of Iowa, as well as putting in place a robust case investigation process so that we can collect real-time data, take a look at where we're seeing potentially, increased virus activity, maybe a cluster of activity, or as we're doing some proactive and very strategic targeted testing in some of our manufacturing facilities and our processing plants. We've been able to see, how that impacts the overall workforce, how we can separate those that are positive, isolate them, get them on a road to recovery, look at separating the shifts, making sure that we have adequate PPE, making sure that the facility is taking all the precautions that the Department of Public Health has put forward in the guidance, working with, when it comes to the processing facilities, working with OSHA and the CDC to jointly put together the requirements for the facility. So what we've seen is businesses being responsible, Iowans being responsible, and in addition, we're doing it in a phased-in approach, and so we'll continue to monitor the data as we continue to ease restrictions. You heard me say in my opening comments that it's been 18 days since we reported Iowa's highest positive cases. The days to double now are at 21 days, which really speaks to the slowing of the spread. That's very positive. Our positivity rate overall today is 14.5%, and I think it was about 8.5% yesterday. So we're seeing some really positive things from that as well. And we're going to continue to monitor it on a daily basis and continue to see how the phased-in process of opening up Iowa is, how we're managing and working through that.